7 feet 10 inches long, 18 feet 6 inches tall, 18 feet wide, and weighing a citrus-squashing 46,000 pounds. The Oxbow 3220 is literally the largest orange harvester on Earth. Powered by a 170 horsepower motor, this citrus combing colossus can rip through a row of 116-foot orange trees in 15 minutes flat, relieving them of 95% of all their fruit. That's some 36,000 pounds of perfectly picked oranges. Oh yeah, try to do that by hand, and it'll take you all day. As for the 3220's color, orange, of course. But trust us, people aren't looking at the paint job.
Typically the first comment is, man, it's huge, you know.
Oxbow's Richard Briesmeister and Grove owner Paul Medor with Everglades Mechanical Harvesting are two of the men behind this ultimate orange extracting machine.
Well, you're in southwest Florida. That's actually in Immokalee, which is about 30 miles east of Fort Myers, Florida. This particular grove is to about 1,200 acres of actual land and 170,000 trees.
That's an area 2 miles long and 1 mile deep. A ripe setting for this harvester to feast on its favorite fruit.
It's a canopy shaker type of harvester where it shakes the canopy. It requires two of them, a right and a left-hand machine. Typically, both machines will line up across from each other, one on each side of a row of oranges. Each machine works like a big brush that shakes the canopy or shakes the branches of the tree until fruit is removed. There's two haulers that travel behind when it's harvested. They travel out to the roadside and dump into semi-loads after the oranges are harvested. In a 10-hour day, that would amount to probably 20 semi-loads, which would be like 1 million pounds of oranges in a day.
The trick to this citrus munching monster's capabilities? Well, for starters, it loves to get cozy.
This is our trunk seal. It's a plastic type material. It's very tough. It actually seals the area between the two harvesters while they're traveling along picking. This is actually the shaker. It's the device that shakes the oranges off from the tree. These are the tines. They rotate into the tree as the harvester moves along. They're freewheeling, but they have a stroke back and forth of approximately 8 inches. The machine is a four-wheel drive, four-wheel steer machine. It's necessary that the machine is very maneuverable for getting in and out of the rows of the very tight ends.
And these machines are not only light on their feet, they're also light on the trees.
It's very important not to do any damage to the trees, because if the trees are damaged, they're not going to generate any fruit, which means we're not going to have any income.
The machine is a gentle giant. It has the ability to remove this year's crop without taking next year's crop. As you can see, it's starting to develop here. It leaves the smaller ones up to a point of the size of about a golf ball.
Jack Rivas and his co-worker Felix Reed are the drivers who put the squeeze on the trees.
When you first get into this machine, it's pretty scary. You know, your hands start sweating, your seat gets warm. It's pretty big. It's pretty intimidating. It's kind of like riding an airplane right next to the motor. All you hear is that noise, motor noise, as you're driving along.
Big tree and small tree that goes up and down. Now this is a catcher table. And this is the long conveyor that goes on the back. That's big. I mean, it's hard to operate. Very hard.
And also potentially deadly.
The machines, while harvesting, are into a real confined area. Visibility is very limited to the operator. Anybody being around the machines while it's harvesting, you can't expect the operator to be watching where he's at.
If someone ever got close to that machine while the times are running, I would not like to see what might happen. That's a real dangerous machine.
You're not going to get a second chance if the operator doesn't see you.
But give the 3220 a wide berth. And chances are the only thing you'll be in danger of is running out of trucks to fill.
What I love most about this machine is the uniqueness of it. All the different things that it does with the four-wheel steer, the ability to raise and lower, the ability to sense and follow the tree and remove the fruit with minimal damage to the trees.
It's manageability. We know day in, day out, whether it's rain or shine, we're able to harvest our crop.
It's one awesome mega machine.
Brad, now it's your turn. I brought my A game. Don't be intimidated. You know, if you lose, don't worry about it.
Is that really the best you can do, Tony? I mean, seriously.
That was my A game right there.
Okay, no big deal, man. My little sister can do better than you. Let me show you how it's done.
Wise guy, huh?
Well,
Let's see what you can do. Get up in that cab and keep your mouth shut.
bring it on. Hey, Tony.
What? I'm
Where you
here.
at?
Don't worry.
Hey, check this baby out, man.
I was looking at it all the way around. I still don't think it's as big as mine. I don't know.
Yeah, it's bigger than you. That's saying something right there, man.
We'll get a
That's hard
tape
to
measure
do.
out. While me and Brad are debating this, check out our next machine.
It's the Aztec 3000 SM Surface Miner. The Aztec 3000 SM Surface Miner stretches a hulking 44 feet long, soars 17 feet 6 inches high, and weighs an earthquake-inducing 300,000 pounds. Used for grinding down rock hillsides, like here in San Antonio, Texas, to make way for new homes and roads. This 1,650 horsepower crust-crunching warrior can chew out a 20-ton, 10-foot wide, 2-foot deep swath of solid stone. Oh yeah, that's in just 60 seconds. Give it an hour, and it'll gore out 1,200 tons of terrain. That's enough material to fill a fleet of 100 dump trucks. And in case you're wondering, the rock is tough in Texas.
Well, most people are amazed that it can cut the rock, and the first reaction is when they see this machine working in rock, well, that rock's not very hard. This is typical of the rock that you'll see all over the northwest San Antonio area.
Al Bender has been selling heavy machinery for 20 years. The Aztec 3000 SM is his newest model. But at $2.4 million and burning 160 gallons to the mile, this is no mass-produced economy car. In fact, only two exist. Custom built to bust up some of Earth's toughest terrain.
Well, this machine was designed for this kind of environment. The rock in San Antonio is typically a limestone. It can vary in compressive strength from 4,000 up to maybe 15,000 psi. So it's very hard, difficult to remove. So you need to have a big enough machine with enough horsepower and enough weight to remove this rock.
And with the help of a megaload of high tech, too.
Well, this is the suspension for our 3000 SM, manufactured by Aztec. It features D8 size tracks. There's 4 tracks independently steered and controlled. So each track can go where it needs to go to maintain the angle of the cut, whether it be level or whether it be angle or whether you want to cut a curve, and allows that to move any way you want to. It also gives you the maneuverability to get around on a site and get off of the cut and get back on very quickly. This is the business end of the machine. It's the part that does the actual cutting of the rock. We call it the drum. It's outfitted with 60 teeth. Each tooth has 55,000 pounds of breakout force. You have most of the weight sitting right over the top of the cutting teeth, so it gives you the most breakout force and able to cut some of the hardest rock. This is the main frame of the machine. The machine's built very rugged for pounding in rock. It's built out of 5-inch thick steel. The frame itself is this thick right in through here, 5 inches thick, all the way to the back.
As for why you need 5 inches of steel, well, this is why.
It's like being a bean in a coffee can getting shook around pretty good, so it's like. That's about how violent it gets at times. When I get off the thing and get my truck, I'm still shaking sometimes, you know. The eyeballs are still going back and forth.
Cliff Cochran spends 10 bone-rattling hours a day, 5 days a week, coaxing America's biggest surface miner into making precision cuts, accurate to within 1/8 of an inch.
On the left side, you got your steering controls, your traction control. The right side's your hoist, which lifts the machine. Just a monster. Exactly a monster.
But if you think this monster is moving across a surface that's rock solid, well, think again.
The thing that scares me most is going over caves. Here in San Antonio, they have Edwards Aquifer up here, and it's a lot. It's an underground river system is all it is, basically. And you take a chance on cutting over who knows how big a hole and falling in.
And get the 3000 SM on an awkward incline. And this monster could end belly up.
It can kill you. Well, I think any machine is capable of turning over. You got to know where the edge is. You got to take the machine to the edge and keep it there to get production and to make money. I mean, Mother Nature don't mess around. There's no second chances. If you mess up, it's all gone. It's all over.
this limestone liquidating Leviathan loose. And it's the job that'll be over. Done 50% faster than any other machine on site.
Oh, it's just raw power. Feels like you're on top of the world. Just tearing things up.
Sorry, people, our hour's up. We got to get this tub grinder back to work. I'm Tony Saragusa. Check us out next time on Mega Machines.